If you hate looking for B-roll, but you love what it does for your videos, this one's for you. B-roll can really inject a lot of energy into a story if you use it well. But if you work intuitively, like I do, finding the right B-roll can be a real pain in the keister. That's because video archives rely on keywords, like YouTube and AdWords. And while keywords seem ever so logical, when they misfire, they can return complete nonsense. I struggled with finding good B-roll for a long time. It could take hours to find what I was looking for, so I had to develop a system to keep from going mad. And it seems to be working pretty well. I can choose B-roll in about a minute now instead of hours, and I think it will work for you too. We'll use Storyblocks today, but I've listed a bunch of other video archives below. So let's say you wanted to add some B-roll to this clip. Do you have any sensitive electronic instruments in your materials imaging facility that only one person knows how to fix? What would happen if that person decided to leave? So we think it might be nice to show that guy for a few seconds. So we ask ourselves, why would he be leaving? Maybe he's unhappy, or he got sick, or he got a better offer. Let's choose unhappy, which usually means a little angry, right? So he's a software engineer, he's unhappy, and we also don't want anyone else in the shot because we don't want to distract from our point. We just want to focus on his unhappy, kind of angry face. Now, he's an experienced software engineer, but he's not an executive. He's not on the beach either. He's got to look like he could be at work, even though we're only seeing him from the neck up. And of course, we have to interpret him as unhappy when we hear the voiceover. So you type in close-up angry male software engineer, and you get, well, nothing useful, nothing usable, either screaming, murderous looks, guns, men and women fighting, or other nonsense. And that can go on for days. The problem is that video archives generally work at the extremes. That's because marketers who use images and video tell binary stories for the most part. Like, here's Jane. Jane likes to socialize after work, but Jane has 37,000 documents to shred every week, so she has to stay late, clearing paper jams and shredding by hand and not having any dates. But then Jane bought the Sure Shred 9000. Jane will be going out with friends tonight. So either you have the product and you'll be so happy you'll be screaming, or you don't have it and you'll be so mad or sad you'll be screaming. So if you need emotions other than rage, try thoughtful, pensive, moody, unless of course you're selling paper shredders. Another pretty important point is that while they recognize specifics like software engineer, once you add the other attributes you need for this clip, all those choices go away. To the archive, there will be business people dressed in suits, civilians dressed in shorts, engineers in hard hats, and cowboys in boots. And that brings us to the most important principle in using the archive to find B-roll. The purpose of your first search string is to understand how the archive understands your request. And we've learned a lot in just a few seconds, haven't we? The archive can't handle emotions with the shades of gray, nor can it get specific with our profession when we need more than that. That means we have to cut out the things that are confusing the algorithm. We need to generalize our search terms, and that means using as few words as possible. The more we add, the more confused the algorithm becomes. So how do we accomplish that without going down even more rabbit holes? Well, we do it with a little bit of structure. Step one is to add the right modifier. It's what tells the algorithm about the meta attributes of the shot, like the size, the gender, the age, the location, things that will help us frame the shot. We'll use close-up. Since you can use up to 2 modifiers, we'll add male. Now, step 2 is to add context. That's what gives the shot its emotional punch. So words like bright, dark, lonely, crowded, cityscape, country road. Now, in this case, we wanted someone angry, but we can't get angry without also getting ballistic. So we're going to leave that blank this time. That's okay. We'll find a shot the viewer can interpret as angry. The last step, step 3, is the subject, what the shot is about. It's the person, place, or thing, like father, executive, baker, mountain. Here we choose worker. So our search string becomes close-up, male, worker. And there he is, a slightly worried expression, a little Tabasco sauce for our plain vanilla dish. But look at what the keywords actually say. Close-up view of one handsome young adult man worker in a goggles. That's why it's so important to limit the number of words in your search string. You don't know what errors the algorithm is going to introduce. What if we had added a modifier after the final step, after we put in the subject, something like looking at the camera? Because after all, he is looking at the camera, right? So let's try it. Where is he? The site seems to interpret looking at the camera as being kind of happy for the most part. And even though we asked for males, it gives us almost as many females. The point is, be brief if you want to get what you came for. So here's what the sequence looks like now. Do you have any sensitive electronic instruments in your materials imaging facility that only one person knows how to fix? What would happen if that person decided to leave? Now, does this work with subjects other than people? What about places or things? You bet it does. Let's find a building like the Daily Planet, where Jane toils away in paper shredder purgatory. So, modifier, tall, as in tall building. For context, we choose New York. And for subject, it's skyscraper. And away we go. One each, government issue, Daily Planet. Well, what about things? Okay, say Jane wants to celebrate her purchase of the Max Shredder 9000 with a bit of bubbly. Modifier is close-up, context is popping cork, and subject is champagne. Voila! Let's get this party started. If you want to get results with your videos faster, let more of you come out to play. Then techniques like this can empower attraction. And for those ready to commit to doing this, one of the best ways could be the inner circle. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Visible Authority.